Hey guys, this is Julie and I am here on Tuesday. So I want to welcome everybody to the program. So I want to welcome our Instagram family, our Facebook Live family, and our friends that are watching via our website. So as many of you know, our family has been on a 21-day fast. So we have for the last 21 days given up chips, cookies, soda, candy, and yesterday, well, as of yesterday, that fast was over. And so in an effort to kind of replenish the house with some of the things that we have not had for 21 days, I went to the grocery store, and as I was going up and down the aisles, I was experiencing a lot of anxiety. And the reason for that is on these 21 days, I have felt pretty good about what we are consuming as a family health-wise and the kind of nutrition that we were getting in our meals. And one of the biggest areas of struggle that I have is packing lunch for my kids. It's not that I struggle to figure out what's healthy, and maybe you don't either. I struggle to find the balance between what they want in their lunchbox and what I can feel good about giving them. And I suppose that over these 21 days when it wasn't an issue, there was a lot of stress relief for me. And yesterday when I was going up and down those aisles where the chips were and the cookies were, I was really struggling to put those in my grocery cart and bring those back into my home. And not just from a weight loss perspective, more so from a health and wellness perspective, especially learning what I have learned in the recent past about what is going in to the foods that we serve our kids. So I am on a mission to figure out what it is I can put in a lunchbox that will make my kids happy, will satisfy their sweet tooth, but I don't feel a lot of guilt and shame about putting in there for them. So here's what I want to do. I'm super excited about this live session today because I think I've come across some items that you can feel good about putting in your lunchboxes too. So if you struggle with this same thing about what's going in, you have no idea about the nutritional content of what you're putting in your kids' lunchboxes, stick with me for 10 minutes because I've got some great news and I think your kids are going to be happy too. So typically when we pack a lunch, we pack the basics: sandwich, chips, cookies, and hopefully a piece of fruit and something to drink. Okay, so we're talking about our kids' lunches here, but we can adapt this to our lunch as well. So I'm going to start right off with just the sandwich because that's a pretty simple fix for most of us, okay? And I want to welcome, I'm going to try to stay in tune with you guys this time. So I want to welcome those of you that are watching. One of my members from our Equip family, Sandy, is watching. So Sandy, I hope this helps you as well. So, and thank you to a lot of our Instagram family watching. So I appreciate you guys so much. So when we're looking at our sandwiches, the first thing, I love this bread. Okay, your kids may not love this bread, but if you're going to make a sandwich, please consider investing in this bread. On a weight loss journey, calories matter. For your kids, maybe not so much, but they can get out of control, and I'm going to talk to you about that. But for men and women on a weight loss journey, please consider, if you're packing lunches, finding low calorie bread that you can feel good about. This is my favorite. I tell you guys all the time that I use that Fujicate app. I highly recommend downloading it because it is so informative, full of knowledge and education about what we're eating. But rest assured that if you use this bread, you're getting some good stuff in your body, okay? Classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich for those of us who have kids that don't have nut allergies. It's great. It's a good go-to. The thing that you have to watch is the jellies and jams because those can be highly processed and those can also have a boatload of sugar that our kids absolutely do not need. Your best bet is to find just a fruit spread. I don't have that in the house right now. The closest thing I have is just Smucker's Natural. This is better than just a jelly or a jam that has excess sugar. This does have real fruit, but it is not just an all fruit spread. So you got to be careful when you're reading those labels. You just want a spreadable fruit. But as you can see on this label, it says it's made with ingredients from natural sources. It is not all natural. And that's the thing that we have to watch out. Manufacturers are so savvy at tricking us into thinking, and you're going to be highly surprised at some of these things, but they're so tricky into making us think that what we're purchasing is good for us when in fact it is not. If you do have nut allergies, or your school does, and you got to be careful about bringing peanuts into the school, I recommend just an all natural, this is one of my favorites, lunch meat. When you are looking at lunch meat, the one thing that I want to remind you of is just to be aware of are nitrates, okay? Nitrates are used to kill bacteria in some processed lunch meats, but here's the thing that you need to know that is very scary about nitrates, and that is in your body, nitrates can morph into molecules that actually cause cancer. So that's why you absolutely want a nitrate-free lunch meat. This is serious stuff when we're talking about our kids. We wonder why our kids are sick, why we see the childhood cancers that we see. I honestly believe that so much of it has to do with the foods that we are eating. So please, I hope that this helps you, because education and knowledge is absolute power. So just consider a nitrate-free lunch meat. Now there's a whole host of ways that you can pack a whole lunch without a sandwich at all. So look into that if you want. We won't go into that today, but I even like frozen meals, and I just check those. I check the ingredients on those, but frozen is really good because more often than not, you can get natural ingredients more so in a frozen meal than you can when you're packing some of this processed stuff. So check out frozen meals too if you're looking for alternative items and your kids have access to a microwave or to a way to heat those up. Okay, so there's our sandwich. The next thing that I think we all go into is all our kids haven't had chips in 21 days. So the first thing that they were all looking for is put some chips in that lunch bag, put some chips. And I was not ready to bring in anything highly processed. This is something that we always have, like if we're not fasting, just these. I love these. These are great, really, by the way, just regular tortilla chips. Here's what you're getting when you get a tortilla chip. You're getting whole grains and you're getting some natural ingredients here, okay? This is a top product in its category. If you need just a basic chip in your home and you can get away with that, chips and salsa or just tortilla chips, then make sure you have those. But I know there's some homes out there where your kids are going, no, not me, that's not gonna happen. And you might be fighting something like this. Cheetos in the house. All right, here's what you need to know about these. Very, very, in my opinion, has some highly dangerous additives and ingredients that we need to be aware of. One of these, and you'll find this in so many food items and drinks, is that Cheetos contain artificial colors. And when you have artificial colors in your food and in your drinks, they pose a risk for hyperactivity, cancer, and allergic reactions. So if you've got kids with heightened allergies or you are concerned about their hyperactivity, it really could have something to do with the foods that they're eating. If they're drinking if you have a lot of drinks in the house that have artificial colors, or a lot of foods in the house that have artificial colors, that's one place you can really start to begin to cut down and trim down just one at a time. You don't have to go and clean the house completely. Just take things out one at a time. So you're saying now, Julie, what am I gonna, if I don't have the Cheetos, what can we serve these kids? And this is what I found today that I was really surprised about at how high they graded on the Foodcade app. And Fritos, my kids love Fritos. And maybe yours do too, but these are a great snack. We don't normally have these because I didn't think they would be that good. But these are 100% whole grain. So you can feel good about putting these in your lunchbox for your kids because they're getting whole grains there. They're minimally processed. And the only reason they rate so low nutritionally is because you're not gonna find a chip or a pretzel that typically rates high nutritionally because they just don't have a whole lot of nutrition in them. There's just not that much in them. But if you need a chip in the house, Fritos are a great alternative for your kiddos' lunch boxes. Now let's talk fruit, because my one rule of thumb is that there should be a fresh fruit in every lunch box. We should be having, you may not be aware, but it is recommended that you and I consume, and our kids, 8 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Now, mind you, most of us are getting less than half of that. The one place we can start ensuring that our kids are getting a fruit and a vegetable, or a vegetable, is just by making sure you're packing an apple or an orange. Keep it simple. Get an apple or an orange or a banana in their lunches. If that's not possible or doable, I usually will pack an orange and some raisins, or a fruit cup and an apple. But dried fruit is always good. The only thing that you need to watch out for with dried fruit is that it's typically higher in sugar per serving. So you just want to be careful of that, but always include a fruit in your kids' lunch boxes. An apple a day, we don't say it anymore, but there's probably some truth in that because of all the good fiber and all the good vitamins and nutritions. An apple a day will keep the doctor away. Try it. Get apples and get fresh fruit back in your kids' lunches and in your lunch as well. I always say fruit at every meal and fruit first, because there is an acidity in most fruit that cleans out your digestive tract. So if you're having troubles in that area, eating that fruit first clears the way for your food in your meal to be digested more easily. So make sure you're getting that fruit in. So then we always talk, because we need something sweet in our lunchbox. We need something sweet after our meal, right? All of us do. So what are we eating? I want to kind of try to steer you away from just the regular candy bars, the Snickers bars, the regular candy bars that are highly processed, have excess sugar in them, but also multiple ingredients. I did come across two things that don't necessarily get a super high grade, but here's one thing I want to talk to you about with regards to sweets, and that is just simple portion control. So if you can just maintain portion control with your sweets, you're already ahead of the game. So one of the things that I picked up that we kind of like in our house, we like peanut butter in this house, if you can't tell, but Reeses Pieces. These are individual Reese cups, and the serving size is actually 3. So probably for my younger one, I would not pack 3. I might just pack 1. If I'm gonna have this as a snack, I'm only gonna have 1. It's about 80 calories, okay? It doesn't grade super high, but the sugar serving comparatively to other things isn't too bad. 2 teaspoons of sugar. There's no artificial colors here. So we talked about that hyperactivity, the risk for cancer, the risk for allergic reactions. You're not getting artificial colors here, so you can feel good about that. There is, though, beware, an artificial additive called TBHQ in this that has been linked to causing, in high doses, so if you're eating a lot of these, has been linked to causing nausea, delirium, and ringing of the ears. So it's really crazy what some of the things that are in our foods that we are eating can actually cause us. I just can't recommend that app enough, because it's when you grade your food on that app, you can see why it gets such a low grade or even a high grade, and you can be informed about what additives are being added into these foods, into these snacks, okay? So on the flip side of that, this might be a little bit better alternative in terms of the ingredients, but sugar-wise, it's still a little bit high, but we like these here. This is just the Hersheys Dark. And what I love about these is that the serving size is 3 pieces and the calories are 190. So again, if you just eat one of those, you're only getting about 60 calories. So that's great. Something little, something sweet. As far as what's in it, it's about the same amount of sugar, but again, no artificial colors. I'm super happy about that. And you get more than 12% of your daily fiber. I recommend, here's the thing with fiber if you're on a weight loss journey, ladies, if you're watching, you're on a weight loss journey, for every gram of fiber you consume, you can discount 7 calories. So if you're consuming 25 to 35 grams of fiber a day, you can knock out about 300 200 calories out of your day and still lose weight. So that's why you need to get that fiber in your diet. Boost that fiber, boost that fiber. These have 2 grams of fiber, not a whole lot, but I recommend trying to find things that have 5 grams of fiber, 6 grams of fiber, and that being this bad boy right here. I love these. This is Canadian Farms Vanilla Chip. I love this, another whole grain item, and it has a little more fiber. I'm trying to read it, but it's upside down actually. The fiber in this is not too bad, but anyway, what I love about this is that it gets a B, and there's 2.5 teaspoons of sugar per serving, but it's a whole grain. So whether you're doing chocolate or you can do a little bit better and do a healthier granola bar alternative, just remember with sweets, it's mostly about portion control. So keep that in mind. Now here's where I really want you to pay attention, because here, this is probably the area that I was most frustrated, not for myself, but by manufacturers who absolutely try to trick us into making us believe that what they're serving us is really good. Before I go there though, I forgot one, yogurt pretzels. Now I picked these up today going, oh, these can't be too bad. This is not, you know, it's yogurt and it's pretzels. Pretzels are low calorie. Wrong. Here's what you need to know. There's tons of sugar in this product. This is a no-go, by the way. If you get that Fujicade app and you download it, here's our rule of thumb in this house. I have ceased bringing anything that gets a D or below. It's very hard to get an A, but if I can get B's and C's in this house, that's what I'm gonna do, but D's don't come in. This is a D, more than 25% saturated fat, and there's no whole grains. So you might be looking at something like this and go, wow, well this is yogurt and those are pretzels, so that must be healthier. Wrong. This is where we need to understand what is actually in the products that we are eating. They're increased calories per serving with this, made with simple carbs. Our bodies need complex carbs and too much sodium. The problem with pretzels, I often hear people ask, Julie, pretzels or potato chips? The reality is potato chips, because potato chips are made from potatoes. There's no real nutritional value at all in a pretzel. There's virtually nothing that can help you on your weight loss journey. So steer clear of those. But now on to the last thing that I want to talk about today in our lunchbox, and that is what we are drinking. Oh, we're losing our connectivity on Facebook. I'm trying to reconnect, so if you're watching on Facebook, I'm sorry. Try to connect with us on Instagram. But what I wanted to show you were the drinks that we are putting in our lunch boxes. I'll try to move that there. The drinks that we're putting in our lunch boxes. So many of us, you know, our kids are involved in a lot of sports, and they're always saying, I need a Gatorade, Mom, bring me a Gatorade, I need a Gatorade. And one of the absolute worst drinks that we can feed our kid, or that we can give our kids, more than 5.5 teaspoons per serving. The other thing that you want to know about this is that you're going to buy this for your kid and they're going to drink the whole thing, and there's actually 2.5 servings in here. So they are getting, in terms of sugar, almost 80 grams of sugar in this one bottle of, we're back on Facebook, so I apologize, we lost you there for a minute because of the connectivity, but we're back now, so glad to have you guys back. Almost 60 grams, or more than 60 grams of sugar per serving. Artificial colors in here, guys. Remember the hyperactivity, the cancer, the allergic reactions, tons of artificial colors in here. It's highly processed. I don't even recommend it, not at all. So it's just really frustrating for me, because our kids are being taught that, you know, this is what they need to replenish their energy and replenish their electrolytes, but it's doing so much more damage than it is good. So then I went on to see if I could find something else. So then Gatorade makes an organic. So I went there to try and see what that is. And again, not too much good in this one either. In fact, the sugar is increased in the organic versions of Gatorade than it, more so than it is in the regular. Kids, we and our kids are consuming 25 teaspoons of sugar a day, 400 extra calories a day in sugar we are consuming. That is outrageous. If we would just reduce our sugar in half, we would probably lose weight without doing much else. That is a place most of us probably need to begin praying about and asking God to really intervene there, open our eyes, give us the awareness that we need, because we need to be more aware and more educated about where these sugars are. And I mean, it's no wonder, you know, this is what the thought that came to me. It's no wonder we are such an obese nation when we are consuming those kind of calories and sugar every single day. Again, don't let this label fool you. This is not a healthy alternative, okay? So then I went on to Propel, because I thought, well, no, I'll go to that one next. So then I went on to Powerade Zero, because I thought, well, maybe Powerade is a better alternative. And again, no. Controversial artificial sweeteners, and some of those sweeteners that are in the Powerade Zero have been proven carcinogens. So they are toxic to our bodies, linked to cancer, again, artificial colors and highly processed. So I was just blown away that I'm standing in this aisle full of what is considered energy drinks and sports drinks and things to help your athlete and to improve your athletic performance, and they are so dangerous to our bodies. And then I went to Propel, which gets a little bit better. I thought, my goodness, a flavored water has to do better. It does a little bit better, but again, we're seeing the artificial sweeteners. This particular item contains something called EDTA. This is on the FDA watch list, which means they're watching it to see what kind of damage it does in people. So that's pretty scary for me, but it has been linked to asthma and skin irritations. So I can't encourage you enough that if your children or you are suffering from allergies, from asthma, from hyperactivity, please consider what you are eating before you go and consider medication. I'm not a doctor. This is just my passion coming out of me right now. So pray about this. Pray about this, because I have family members who have been diagnosed with disorders and then been placed on medications, and the medications have exacerbated their illnesses or caused other illnesses. And that is not God's plan for us. God's plan is for us to find healthy foods that energize us and that we can use to lose weight, live healthy, and build His kingdom. So I've slammed all these drinks, and you're probably wondering, well, what else other than water can my poor kiddos drink? And thank God I was able to find something. I did come across vitamin water. Woo, vitamin water. It's so pretty and it looks good on camera, and this is a really good alternative. I love it. It even it's high in vitamin A. Yay, finally a drink that's high or even possesses a vitamin or a nutrient. I was super excited about that. It's lower in calories per serving, and I can feel good about giving this to my kids before a game or for their lunch. I don't feel guilty. I don't feel convicted. I don't feel that pit in my stomach going, what are you putting into their bodies? So there you have it. What you can put in your lunch. There are alternatives. Please know that. And if you, the other thing that I really want to encourage you and remind you is that the Bible tells us, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart. Your kids will remember this. Your grandkids will remember this. So when they come to grandma's house and they say, grandma's got all the healthy stuff, and they're going to start eating healthy too, and your kids are going to appreciate it. They're going to sleep better. They're going to focus better. They're going to perform better athletically. If you have an athlete in the house, you're not doing them any favors by feeding them poorly. So if you have an athlete in the house, it is, and they want to perform well, encourage them to pay attention to how these foods counteract impact their athletic performance. Sleep is so important on a weight loss journey. It's important that we decrease our sugar so that we can sleep better. I've slept so much better by decreasing and getting some of this junk out of my house. And so I feel like the Lord has said, don't bring it back in. Just because it's over, don't bring it back in. And that's my message for all of us. We don't have to go cold turkey. You don't have to cut everything out, but talk to your kids, talk to your husband, see what you can do together collectively. What is everybody willing to do so that we can build up our bodies and treat these temples the way that God He wants us to treat them, so that we can be the victorious Christians that He wants us to be, and we can build up His kingdom, and we can lead others to Him. It takes confidence to be a leader for Christ. It does. It takes confidence and it takes boldness. And when we're hiding behind 50 pounds, when we're hiding behind guilt and shame over what we're eating, we are no good for God. So it is our duty and it is our job, and we are acting in obedience when we step up, get bold, and get healthy for Christ. I will be praying for you. I can't thank you enough for watching. My prayer is that you were encouraged and enlightened. I set out, I prayed before we did this. I don't want anyone to feel guilt or shame about what we're showing here, but excitement and encouragement about what we can change in our own homes to build up our bodies and our minds for Christ. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you right back here next week, same time. Have a blessed and super healthy day. Bye-bye.